Ranking JoJo stands, Part 1, Stardust Crusaders. So first up we have Star Platinum. This is a very basic, beginner-friendly stand. It's got like the basic stuff, everybody knows Star Platinum and the Ora Ora and all that. It's got the super strength, super speed, the vision enhancement, like what he does with the picture, and who could forget the classic Star Finger? Uh, with that, I would put it in A tier because Star Platinum is a very good stand. But with that plus Star Platinum, the World, which can stop time for 2 seconds in Part 4, and I think in Part 6, it goes to 5 seconds. It is an S. Next, we have Magician Red. Magician's Red is very goated, but it also has a problem where you can't really use it much because it's very environmental and it will destroy people and things around you. So because of that, B tier, still very good. Hermit Purple. Hermit Purple is very depends on how you look at it. It's very versatile, but its main function of like destroying like technology just to see like an image or like get an answer for something from like different like radio channels or television channels is kind of mid. But I do like it when like Joseph could have been like Spider-Maning like around Egypt and whatnot. I just can't really see Hermit Purple being above C. Hierophant Green, I really like its design. Its design alone is B tier. Its puppet manipulation is good. I like Emerald Splash. I'm gonna give it A tier. I like Hierophant Green just because of its design. I'll give it A. I like all of its abilities, and I like Kakyoin. Silver Chariot. Silver Chariot's an S tier. It's one of my favorite stands. It's probably in my top five. Really like Silver Chariot, even though it's kind of just the sword version of Star Platinum with just a lot less things. I like Silver Chariot. Polnareff is probably my favorite Crusader, and yeah. Next we have the Fool. Now this might come as a surprise, but I think the Fool is one of the most underrated stands in the series. Sand manipulation is good, and if I like its design, I like how it's like got wheels and stuff, and I also really like Iggy. And I think the Fool is S tier. Arguably, I think it competes with Star Platinum and Silver Chariot. And be on the lookout for the next video where we're gonna be talking about Dio's henchmen. Alright, boys. Welcome back to Ranking JoJo Stands. We're still in part 3. And in my last video, I said we're gonna just be ranking Dio's henchmen, which technically we still are. It's just, we're going to be ranking a lot more because I decided this was originally going to be a YouTube short series. I'm just going to make it a video series. So we're going to be ranking pretty much the first half of villains from part 3, which is all of the remaining tarot users except the world, because we're going to save the world for last because Dio. So starting off, we have Tower of Grey. Tower of Grey is very weird because it doesn't really have like a signature ability. It's just like a really strong like beetle or a bug or fly or whatever it is. I mean, it's not D because it's really not the worst. But like, it's kind of like Hermit Purple. Like, it has potential. It's just like only certain people could use these stands in like really good scenarios. The only thing going for Tower of Grey is that it's just really fast, in my opinion. I think that's its only good attribute, is that it's really fast. I think barely, I've looked at the list, I think there's barely any stands that fall into D tier, and I also think it also has a very basic design, so it doesn't really have that either, unfortunately. Excuse me. Next up we have Dark Moon Blue. I think this is what it's called. It's either Dark Blue Moon or Dark Moon Blue. I really like its design. Like, I like the aquatic looking thing. It's just, other than that, this is also like Tower of Grey, where it just doesn't really have much going for it, because it doesn't really like give you the ability to do better underwater. Like, yeah, the stand itself is really fast underwater, but like you can't breathe. It doesn't give you to breathe underwater. I think if it gave you to breathe underwater, it'd be easy A. It's just the guy who had it, he was like a Marine or something, like a Coast Guard or whatever, and he like trained himself to breathe underwater for like over 6 minutes. What else can the stand do? I think it can shoot like water bullets. I think it did that, and it can also it can grow barnacles. I remember that. It's like barnacle acceleration. So like if I were gifted this stand, I'd want to live on like a beach or something. I don't know. Maybe like join the Coast Guard or whatever. I think this is a Tower of Grace situation where you just can't really do much with it. I think. Yeah, C tier. Next up we have Strength. C tier, not really much to talk about. It's just a really big, like, old boat. I mean, yes, it would be cool to have. You could basically go anywhere. It's a boat. You can't really do anything with it. I mean, could bump it up to B. Nah, I'm gonna keep it in C tier. It's funny though. It's just a boat. That's it. The stand is the boat. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in C for now. We might come back to it. We might. Alright, next stand we have Yellow Temperance with the user, his name, very goofy name, Rubber Soul. This is like a golden colored, ever-consuming blob that gets stronger the more it consumes. And it is good because it does have good capabilities, because with like its transformation, like you can transform into things. It's just the blob is just so mid, and it's actually I don't know. I've never liked this thing. I'm gonna put it in C, but I could see it being in B just for like. Actually, no. I'm gonna keep it in C because even when you do transform into other things, it's still like always eating something. So yeah. Next, we have the Hanged Man, or Centerfold, or Jay Guile as he's known as. This is a very unique stand. If I remember, it's like some sort of like light reflection manipulation where you jump from like reflections of light, like mirrors, and like basically you can just jump from light reflections like mirrors, any kind of mirror. And there was also, I think he was like attacking Polnareff and Kakyoin by like their eyes. And I also really like the design of it too. It's got like the zombie mummy thing. I'm gonna put this in A because it's pretty goated, in my opinion. And now, next up we have the Emperor. User is Whole Horse. I really like Whole Horse. I really like the Emperor. I think the Emperor is an easy S. It's an invisible gun, and you can control the bullets. And I think this is an unpopular opinion. I think the Emperor is better than Sex Pistols, personally. So yeah. And just Whole Horse is just the goat anyway. The Emperor is nice. So yeah. Next we have the Empress, which, if I remember correctly, this is just like a baby-like stand. A very ugly baby-like stand. That it's just hard to kill, isn't it? No. It plants itself onto you. It's a parasite. Yeah, it is a parasite. It's just like, what can you really do with this? I think this is another C tier. It's just too mid. Next we have Wheel of Fortune. Personally, I think Wheel of Fortune could be an A. It's a car, and from what we've seen, you don't gotta worry about gas. It can shrink in size, it can enlarge, it can shoot like gas bullets, and it can transform. I think Wheel of Fortune is goated. It's easy transport basically. Next we have Justice. Justice is the stand of Inyaba. And I really, really, really like the design of Justice. If we're going off design alone, I think design alone is an S tier. But its main ability is Puppeteer. But to puppet a person, you have to put a hole in them. And I don't think it's S tier, but I think it's A tier. I think it's very high A tier. Yeah, I think it's A tier. Justice is cool. Next, we have the Lovers. Again, this is just like classic part 3. Like, there's a lot of like C tier stands, honestly, and I don't really remember much about the Lovers other than it can like shrink in size. Wait, oh, I do remember. The Lovers doesn't have a range. That is probably the only thing good about it, is that it has no range and that the user can just go do whatever they want. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in C. Next up, the Sun. Hey guys, just wanted to give a heads up. This is editing during here. The Sun is in D tier because I realized how trash it was, and I just wanted to give the heads up. Alright, next up we have a very interesting one. Death 13. Death 13 is a very good at design. I like the mask. I like the scythe it carries. I like the jester, like creepy vibes it gives off too. Death 13 is very goated, and basically what it does, it's basically the JoJo's equivalent of Freddy Krueger, as it hunts you down in your dreams, and I think that's a really cool thing. And I think this is one of the few enemies in the series that could have taken out the Stardust Crusaders if they didn't have plot armor. I think Death 13 might be an S tier. I do like Death 13. Yeah, we're gonna give Death 13 S tier. I like it. It's goated design, goated ability. Next up we have Judgment. This is the stand that is like the genie. It's like the genie stand. It's pretty cool. It grants some wishes, but I think all the wishes come at a cost, or depending on what the wish is, it comes at a cost. Judgment, I could see it being good. I could see if it could grant any wish without any bad things, easy S. Love this. Love to have this stand. It's just like I don't really remember. I'm gonna have to do some research on it, actually. Alright, I looked it up. Never mind. This stand sucks because everything that it like grants, it's like just clay, and that sucks. And for our last stand of the tarot users, we have this is the High Priestess. And this is a pretty cool stand, actually. The High Priestess has the ability to like become one with minerals. As we see in the series, it becomes like part of the submarines that the STC get in, and at one point it also becomes the ocean floor, and I think that's really cool, and I think the stand actually has a lot of potential. But does it? Minerals are goated. I think this is a B tier, but I think it's high B. Yeah, I think everything in A tier I would rather have than the High Priestess personally. Eh, Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. So this is the new ranking. We're done with all the tarot users of Dio's henchmen. I'm liking this ranking. It's pretty accurate, I would say, to what I actually think. We have a lot of C tiers. I hope we don't run into any more. So next, in the next video, we're gonna finish. I think we're gonna finish part 3, and we're gonna do the Egyptian gods plus like uh Dio and like Cream and all that. And yeah, be on the lookout for the next video. and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're on part 3 of ranking every JoJo stand, and today's video we're going to be finishing off part 3, Stardust Crusaders. Let's get into it. We got the rest of the Terra users, so let's get into it. First, we have Geb. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance if I say any of these are wrong. So first up we have Geb. Geb is, I looked it up, I did some research on this one before the video. I think this is just water manipulation. I couldn't see anything online that said otherwise. I went to the JoJo's wiki and I went to Reddit and I didn't see anything that just said it wasn't water manipulation. So if we're going off the base that this is water manipulation, it's going to be an S tier in my opinion. I think water manipulation is extremely good. I think out of the base elements like fire, earth, water, air, I think water is the most useful element to like be able to manipulate, but it's just not the coolest in my opinion. But like think of like all the things you could do with this. Oh, hold up. Now that I'm actually thinking about what could you do with this stand? You could just move water, I guess. Hold up. I think Geb's not as good as I thought. I think this might be an A tier then. Another thing, this stand doesn't really have like a design. It's just water, and it appears as his hand sometimes. But the water itself is strong. It can like rip through metal, and even like obviously, if it can rip through metal, it can rip through humans. It even did that to one of the Speedwagon Foundation members. I think it's a good place in A. I might come back to it if I think of anything. Next up we have Kanum. This is Oingo's stand. Kanum's ability is you can transform into people. Like for example, Oingo transforms into Jotaro in the series. You see, I've thought about this before. I think the ability to disguise yourself as someone is really good. So I'm going to put it in A tier because it is still pretty. I think it's pretty good. It's just that both the Boingo brothers don't really specialize in the intelligence field. But I think if they had intelligence, they could have cooked something. Next up we have Thoth, I think, or Thoth. Thoth. This is a stand that is a book that prophesizes the future with its like comic manga pages. Now, I do think Oingo's stand is better, so I'm gonna put it in B. But I can see the potential in this. The ability to see the future is good. Yeah, just by itself, it doesn't really have a downside other than you have to wait for like the pages to come in. But we really never see Boingo wait that long for the pages to come in. And I just like it. I also like the art style. I think it's like a goofy good. So next up we have Anubis. Anubis is a sword that takes over the user when like it's grabbed. And I talked about this with a friend because I thought it was kind of good. I thought it'd be B tier. But then he reminded me that it takes over the user. Therefore, I think it's pretty mid. But alright, if we're going off, I got this stand IRL. If I were to get this stand, it'd be D tier because it wouldn't be me. But a lot of things that I'm taking in with a lot of these stands, I'm taking in how I'm ranking them. They're being ranked on how I would use them and how they are in the series. So I think Anubis is a C tier because, well, okay, back to like how I would like to stand. Sure, your body is taken over, but you become a like master swordsman in like the real world. It's just that wouldn't really be that helpful. I think Anubis is gonna stay in C tier. I think this is another Geb where I might just have to come back to this because it is a pretty tricky one. I won't lie. Next up we have Bask. This is Mariah Stand. One of my favorite girls in JoJo actually. Bask. The stand itself is this outlet, and whoever touches it gets uh like they become like a magnet, and I think Mariah controls it, like she can control how stronger it gets, or it just automatically gets stronger as time progresses. I think this is a pretty mid stand, honestly. You would have to like do some like high level plotting. The only way I think I could get use out of this is to disguise it as a normal outlet and just hope somebody touches it. I think like if I don't do that, the only people that would be touching it would be like young kids. But yeah, I think this stand is completely trash. Or not completely trash, it's really not that bad. I don't think it's sun level. Hmm. Could it be sun level? But you see what Mariah does in this series? She makes well with Joseph, she makes Joseph touch it because it's just on a rock. Oh, that actually might be the way to go. Just put it on things where it normally wouldn't be and just have people touch it. Yeah, I like that. But I don't remember how Alfdal touches it, but I also know in Shining Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, or Crazy Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, she trips Whole Horse and he touches it. I think that's what I would do if I had the stand bass, just trip people until they touch it. Another thing, the user Mariah also carries metal on her to like use on her enemies, as seen in that one scene that you all know I'm referring to. And it's also good to know the general layout of the area. Mariah also uses that in like the Avdol Joseph fight. I think it's C tier. I don't think we're coming back to this one. Next up we have Sethan. Sethan is a shadow stand. It's a shadow with eyeballs, and whoever walks in the shadow is aged down. Wait, yeah, they're aged down for how long they're in it. I think it's 10 years for every like period, I think. Uh, so I looked it up. I didn't really find a set answer, except Polnareff was in the shadow for a split second and he de-aged 7 to 8 years. So that alone, personally, I do like the stand. Really don't like the user. I think the user is very weird and creepy. It would be S, but I'm gonna be honest. Not a big fan of the design. I think the design is very mid. It's a cool concept, a shadow just with eyes. It's just, I want a stand that looks cool. Look at all these other stands in S tier except the Emperor. Like, look at Star Platinum, Silver Chariot, the Fool, Death 13, they all look so cool. Sethan just ain't cool looking. But it is a pretty good stand. I do think it is A tier. Alright, next up we have everyone's favorite gambler, Darby. And his stand is Osiris, or Osiris. I don't know which one it is. This stand allows Darby. Basically, the stand, you have to have someone agree to either play a game or make a bet with you. And if you lose the bet, the stand makes you into this like soul coin poker chip with your face on it. And no matter what you do, no matter where you go, or even if you agree to it, if you lose the bet or the game, the stand makes you a chip, no matter where you're at. And I think that's, and it also has a pretty banging design. I'm not gonna lie, I like how big it is. I do like it. It is pretty cool, in my opinion. I also just like the Darby arc in general. I think it was pretty good. I also like how Jotaro was just bullshitting out his ass. The whole arc, or especially in the gambling part, it was pretty funny. Oh, I think this is another A tier. I think we got another A. Getting a lot of A's this video. We have 4 A's this video, guys. Wow. Uh, Next up we have Horace. This is the stand of Pet Shop. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. This is another one I've thought about. This is going to be A tier. I think Horace is a really cool. It's basic. It's kind of like Geb, but it's just ice manipulation. I think it is so fire. It looks so cool. Pet Shop is one of my favorite like enemies in Part 3. I would say my favorite enemies are alright, top 5 enemies. Whole Horse, Pet Shop, Mariah, Vanilla Ice, and Dio. I'll say that. Yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, Horus is goated. Atom. I think it's Atom. Yeah, it is Atom. This is the stand of, I don't remember his name, but it's Darby the Younger. He also has the ability to like bet your soul, so it's like soul betting. Except he really only uses video games. Also, like Osiris, you have to agree to play the game, and if you lose the game, your soul is turned into a marionette puppet. Design-wise, I do think this is the much cooler like version, like between the brothers. I'm thinking of putting this in S tier because I really do like its design a lot more, and it's basically the same. All right, it just comes down to this, though. When I beat people in games, would I rather turn them into a coin or a doll? I think this is S tier. Maybe, yeah. I think this is S tier. Oh, another ability this has is it can read your soul with yes or no questions. Like, you would ask somebody like a yes or no question, and the soul always answers truthfully. So even if they said no, you would know they said yes. Like, for example, let's say somebody ate like your chocolate or whatever. Hey, did you eat my chocolate? And they said no. You would read their soul and see they say yes. I think it's an S tier stand. I like it. Next up we have Tenor Sax. Yeah, Tenor Sax. This is very mid. I'm gonna put this in C. It's like a minor illusion. It's like illusions. It's an illusion-based stand where it's like not even really good illusions. It can be bypassed by like smells. Like that's how like Iggy was able to find out they were in an illusion because he just smelled through it. So yeah, not really much you can do with that other than like no matter what you do or what illusion you put somebody in, I think they would eventually find out they were in an illusion. I think if it was more like permanent and like you could do stuff, I think it would be B. Hold up, could you? I'm gonna look this up. Came back from the research, and you actually can like do things in the illusion, like feel water and like the walls that feel like the real thing. That's big. I think that saves that from C tier. We're gonna put that up in B tier. Like even if you can't like trap anybody in the illusion, I also seen the illusions can be massive. Like you can make like whole labyrinths. Even if you don't have like enemies, you could still like an illusion yourself at like the beach or whatever. And I think that's pretty neat. So we're gonna put that in B tier. Next we have a personal favorite stand of mine, Cream, and the user is Vanilla Ice. Cream's ability is that it becomes a sphere that like eats things as like a void hole, and I personally really like it. I really like Polnareff and Iggy versus Cream. That is probably my favorite fight, or one of my favorite fights in the series. Probably it's in my top 3 in part 3 alone anyway. I think it's really good, and I also really like the design of Cream. And yeah, just because of how much I like it, it's a personal favorite. I'm gonna put it in S tier, obviously. Look how cool it looks. It has aura. And next up, we have the world. The world is the stand of Dio, and its ability is that it can stop time. Who knew? And not really much else it can do. It's basically Star Platinum with the ability to stop time. And I think because of that, it's an instant S tier. Like I said, it's Star Platinum with an added ability of stopping time. I also think it does look really cool. Even though I'm not usually a big fan of yellow, I think it's really cool looking. And yeah, uh, that is it for JoJo's Part 3 Stardust Crusaders. We ranked every stand from Star Platinum to the world.